What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Rats Report. It is time to talk about the Toronto Raptors because they have actually made a trade and the Raptors have officially traded for Brandon Ingram. I will be breaking down the details for you in today's video. So if you're ready to watch, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, as you guys know, I do like to give out shout outs on my channel, and the shout out for today's video goes out to Michael Todd. So, Michael, thank you so much for supporting this channel, to your likes and comments. It is very much appreciated. And Shams Charnia was reporting that the New Orleans Pelicans have traded Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors for Bruce Brown Jr., Kelly Olynyk, one first-round pick, which is Indiana Pacers 2026 first-round pick, and one second-round pick as well. Now, my initial reaction was very surprising considering we have heard so many trade rumors in the past surrounding the Toronto Raptors, and none of them actually do happen. So for the Toronto Raptors to make a trade, it was not only surprising, it was also very interesting given where the team is currently, because at the beginning of the season, what did a lot of players, including Masai Ujiri, say is they are rebuilding, yet a 13th place team in the Eastern Conference traded for Brandon Ingram. Now, I'm well aware that he's injured and the Raptors can still tank by sitting out Brandon Ingram and helping him recover from his injuries. The Raptors have an excellent medical staff, and Dyson Daniels, in particular, former Pelicans player, did say there's something just really weird with that roster, because he did say in New Orleans he just kept getting injured very so often. So perhaps Brandon Ingram coming to the Toronto Raptors will help his injuries a little bit more. But in terms of my initial reaction, I was really surprised that the Raptors didn't include more picks. I'm actually really happy with the deal itself, but in terms of the implications that this could have on the team moving forward, it is very important to talk about that, because as someone who has always liked Brandon Ingram as a player, is he a good fit? Is this the right time to make the trade? And did the Raptors make a mistake? Let's talk about all of these situations as well. Now, one major thing to talk about that I don't think a lot of people are realizing with Brandon Ingram is the salary implications. So for a Toronto Raptors team, you have to look at the salary cap here to fully understand this. But going into next season, the Raptors will have $150 million committed to that team. And the salary cap for next season is expected to be at approximately $170 million. And this is, again, to keep in mind that Brandon Ingram is expecting a max contract of around $40 million. So if you were to add $40 million just to the $150 million the Raptors already have committed to next season, the Raptors will be a luxury cap. They will be paying the luxury tax because they won't have any cap space, which it doesn't really matter for a Toronto Raptors team, taking into consideration they're not exactly big players in free agency. It does, however, impact their future trades as well, which makes this very interesting, particularly surrounding one player, and that is RJ Barrett. Now, why do I talk about RJ Barrett in particular? Just when we talk about the Toronto Raptors, the starting lineup of Jakob Poeltl, Scottie Barnes, Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley. Now, tell me that lineup doesn't sound sexy on paper, but if you were to actually play all of these guys together, you cannot tell me with a straight face that these players will all mesh well together, because RJ needs the ball, Brandon Ingram needs the ball, Scottie Barnes needs the ball as well. So it makes it a little bit challenging in terms of having too many chefs in the kitchen. This is exactly the type of problems that the Raptors have had in the past, and I want to kind of make a separate video for that in the future and just discuss more so, again, my reaction to this specific trade as well. But it will be interesting because, like I said, if the Raptors get into the luxury tax, then we've seen what teams like the Phoenix Suns, we've seen a lot of teams that are already in the luxury tax and pass the second apron tax as well, which makes trades so much more complicated and difficult to make in the future as well. So the Raptors, they have to make a big decision on RJ Barrett. And again, I want to go back to the salary cap here, because taking a look at RJ Barrett there, you see that he has got a couple seasons under his contract, which is fine. But then you also have Jakob Poeltl there as well. So again, if we fast forward to next season, Jakob Poeltl is undeniably going to decline his player option for the following offseason and expect a much bigger raise. So just adding to that, it just adds so much more money, and then you're just adding more money on top of that. And similar situation with the RJ Barrett as well. The RJ Barrett situation is going to be interesting because in 2 seasons, do the Raptors really want to pay him $40 million, which is probably going to be the norm by then? I don't know. So this makes things a little bit more interesting in terms of tradable assets. It definitely gives the Raptors a lot more options in terms of If they want to move RJ Barrett for a center and then look to trade off of Jakob Poeltl, it definitely gives them several trade options as well. Or even if they wanted to trade for a star player, you could definitely include RJ's $27 million contract as well. Now, in terms of just strictly speaking of the trade, do I like this trade for the Raptors? I'm excited about Brandon Ingram coming to the Raptors. Do not get the wrong idea. However, is this the right move to make for a 13th place overall team in the Eastern Conference? Again, the Raptors will still tank. They could possibly land a top five pick as well. That would not, make a big difference with Brandon Ingram considering he's injured at the moment. But just in terms of future wise as well, is it very wise for a team like the Toronto Raptors to be giving up a first round pick? Now, my personal opinion is absolutely not. When you're a 13th place team, it doesn't make sense to give up draft capital. It truly doesn't. I know on Brandon Ingram, a lot of people are excited that he's a 20-point per guy. He'll help your offense, particularly for a team like the Toronto Raptors that rank 21st in the NBA, averaging only 111 points per game. So they'll have definitely help in that department as well. But the mistake that Masai Ujiri keeps making here is that he keeps constructing the roster in a way where your starters are going to need the ball most of the times. And then again, this is also going to impact Grady Dick as well, who is now going to be obviously playing off of the bench as well. So it's going to be very fascinating to see how this kind of plays out. And most importantly, how the Raptors are going to build their roster moving forward. Again, do not, do not, do not underestimate salary implications, but also do not underestimate RJ Barrett as well, because will the Raptors look to move off him? Maybe not so much tomorrow, perhaps, maybe in the summertime, but they will eventually have to move off of him, strictly speaking on salaries implications as well. And just overall that fit of RJ, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes. I've said this in my previous videos when we talked about Brandon Ingram. It's a really odd fit. It really, really is. So again, you're going to see a lot of inconsistencies between RJ Barrett and Brandon Ingram, perhaps just because of all him, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett will all need the ball to be effective. So how is that going to work out? I do have my questions and concerns, but there's no doubt about it that, look, the Raptors decided to buy low on Brandon Ingram, and they are going to bet that he's still going to be a 20-point per guy, and he's only 27 years old. But the big question will be, will he sign with the Raptors, which I think he ultimately will, just because, again, you look at teams with salary cap situation, no team's going to be paying him $40 million. Teams don't have that kind of money anymore. They really do not. So it'll be a good position for the Toronto Raptors to undoubtedly sign him. Do I like the $40 million? That is quite a bit if you personally ask me, just considering just how many players are making $40 million and their worth. Again, with respect to Brandon Ingram, I just don't think that's a good contract moving forward. But hey, like I've always said, I'm a YouTuber for a reason. I have faith in Masai Ujiri. Did he make this move because his own contract is expiring with the Toronto Raptors soon? Perhaps. It could be a very realistic possibility. It could also be a possibility that the Raptors needed more offensive help to help someone like Scotty Barnes as well. So I'm very interested, very, very interested to hear your thoughts, because a lot of people are comparing previously to getting Brandon Ingram to a Rudy Gay type of situation where you acquire a really good scorer, but he doesn't fit on your team. So again, the big question for the Toronto Raptors, besides the fact that we're talking about salaries and what they gave up for a 13th place team, the more important thing is how's this going to fit. Again, I will be making another video, which I will release tomorrow. Again, apologies. I've been up since 3:30 a.m. It is almost 10 o'clock by the time I get this video out. So again, I do appreciate you guys' support as always, and I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, I do have a trivia question for you today. And the trivia question is, how many seasons has Brandon Ingram played in the NBA? Is it A7? Is it B9? Is it C8? Or is it D5? So whoever answers this trivia question correctly first in the comment section gets a shout out in my next video. So that will be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.